want to talk to you about the things that you need to know before you move to Texas. I've been asking a lot of people about the things they wish they would have known, so I thought I would share that so you have the edge up before you get here. The first thing you need is, what do you need?
A big car.
A big car.
A big car.
A big car. Yeah. So first of all, you need a car. That's the main thing. The public transportation here is really not very good, so you're going to have to drive yourself. And when you get a car, you also need an easy tag. So get a car and then get your easy tag. The easy tag will help you get on all the highways, and you can there's a lot of toll ways around Houston, and it saves you in traffic, so get your easy tag. Secondly is the cars really are bigger here. It is Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, so the trucks are really big. So if you're driving like a little, what do they call those, like a smart car, you're gonna get swallowed up on the highway. I mean, it's possible, but maybe get something a little bit bigger and protect yourself. Just a thought. Another interesting fact in Houston is that we really measure distance in terms of time and not really distance in miles. So I have a lot of people who say they want to be within 30 miles of Houston. And then when I ask them what is their commute time, and they say about 30 minutes, that doesn't really equate. So pretty much everything in Houston is at least 20 minutes from wherever you are. So even if you live in a subdivision and you want to get to the grocery store, it's probably 15-20 minutes. So if you really want to know where to live, you need to look in a radius of time, and I can help you with that because I know how long things take. So just consider that when people say, oh, how far away do you live? Don't say like 10 miles, say 15 minutes. We all understand that. Okay, I have another caveat about driving. In fact, a lot of this is going to have to do with driving. I don't know, this must have a big effect in my life. I think I drive a lot for my work. Anyway, so the left lane is usually for passing, but not here. The left lane is really just whoever gets there first, and then you have to pass on whatever side you get there. We all want it to be for passing only on the left, but it just doesn't work out that way. It's sort of aggressive, so you just sort of have to make your way in. Also, if someone lets you in, make sure you give them the little wave from the mirror. Texas is very old-fashioned, and we like people to have good manners. So if someone lets you in, when they give you space, make sure you give them a little wave, and that's all good. And also, another thing to know, don't honk. In some places, the horn is used as like a turn signal or like a beep beep. Oh, not here. Our horn is very aggressive. We really don't know. We only use the horn in cases of severe anger and road rage. Don't do that. They carry guns here too, right? So there's that. So another thing that you should know about driving here is the use of the turn signal is sort of optional. We like that it would be used more, but people don't use it, so just be prepared. If you try to pass and someone cuts you off, it's just the way it is. People don't really use it like they should, so I apologize in advance, but that's just one of the things about driving here. You have to be careful and drive defensively. So one of the things that I was told when I first moved here was that there's no zoning in the Houston area. What does that mean? So one thing you should definitely know if you're considering moving here is that Houston has no zoning laws, meaning that you can have residential next to commercial or next to multifamily, all in one block actually. They don't cordon off little sections of the areas for those purposes, unless you're in a master plan community, which are very popular. So I have another video about that. But basically, if you're looking for a property and you are concerned about your equity for long term, then you may want to see what's going up around you or buy in something safer like a neighborhood with an HOA or a master plan community. The weather. Dress in layers, because literally, I think yesterday it was like 18 degrees and now it's 70, just one day later, and the temperature is bipolar. So wear layers, bring things in your car. I always keep boots in my car because you never know when you're going to have a big rainstorm and you're going to get flooded. So bring layers and pack your car for emergencies. sweater because the restaurants are like 75, and that's a huge shock for your body. At least it is for me. So I always bring sweaters when I go out to dinner because it's going to be cold in there, guaranteed. But speaking of traveling, when it rains, Texas doesn't really handle rain very well. First of all, we're at sea level for the most part, and so the rain has nowhere to go except for on the streets. So it really slows down traffic. So if it's raining or rain is predicted, just literally buy yourself an extra 20 minutes because you're probably going to need it, and then drive very defensively because people can't drive in the rain. And if it snows, just don't leave the house. Another thing you should know before moving to Houston is it does flood here, and maybe you remember seeing some of the hurricanes on TV and watching all of that disaster, and it is isolated to certain parts of town usually, and you know, we are on the Gulf, and so we'll get a lot of rain, and we have hurricane season. So first of all, prepare yourself for hurricane season. They're going to give you packets, and there's things you can do to get ready and prepare yourself and your family and your house. But then also for flooding, you know, you just want to make sure you're in the right area, you carry the proper coverage, get flood insurance always, and you should be okay. So I'm sure you're aware that Houston is hot. Yes, so you will need to be prepared for the heat. It's pretty humid, and I like to compare it to winters in New England. I mean, unless you're an avid skier, you don't really go outside a whole lot in the summer. You know, that's our indoor time. So just be prepared for the heat. But honestly, you get used to it, and it's not so bad. Speaking of the heat, likely your friends will have pools, or you will have a pool. But either way, if you have kids, they have to learn how to swim. Please do me a favor and put your kids in swim lessons, because everybody has pools and you don't want an accident. So please teach your kids to swim. The pollen. Oh my goodness. In the spring, it's like green snow on your car. But yeah, pollen is a thing, and you'll see it everywhere. Everything is tinted, you know, lime green for a long time, and then it goes away and it's all pretty again. But we do have a lot of pollen. So one of the things I wish I would have known before I moved here was that the pests are really weird. So when I bought my first house, I closed, I moved in, and there was literally a flying cockroach that was like huge, and I freaked out. Like, I thought I had moved to hell, that the cockroaches flew. Anyway, those are just tree roaches, I've since learned, and it doesn't mean the house is infested or it's dirty. They get in from the trees and they live and just try to get inside. So don't freak out. But yeah, we have flying cockroaches, but it's not rampant. They don't fly like flocks like birds, but you will see them, and it's gross. So speaking of pests, another thing we have here is snakes. I mean, they're not just here, but in the Houston area, we have a lot of bayous, and you may have the occasional snake. Not so much inside the loop or 610, not so much there, but when you live outside a little bit in the country or in a subdivision with some lakes, you may have a snake. And I'm still not quite used to that. We moved a little bit further out, and we had our first snake. Well, we've had a few, but I don't really know what to tell you. I covered it up with a bucket and called in the experts, and he took care of it. So I'm not really sure what you should do if you have a snake, but don't call me because I'm not going to handle it. So another thing you should know before you live here is that the Houston rodeo is like shuts this place down. It's actually really cool. So they come in a caravan on the highways. So like all the horses in their caravans will be coming in from all over the country actually, and they take over the highways, and it's the craziest thing you'll ever see. And you see these big mega highways with a bunch of horses and carriages in it and cowboys, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, so the Houston rodeo, you will know when it's here because everybody will be talking about it, and everybody goes to the rodeo, and so you will too. Another thing to know before you move here is that everybody's really friendly. So that's one thing I found when I prepared for that. Another thing to know before you get to Houston is that we love our festivals. We have festivals for everything. There's like the Greek festival, the Indian festival, the Jamaican festival. We have festivals for every culture and every event. And so
The Oktoberfest.
the Oktoberfest festival, yes, there's several good ones because we have a huge German population here in Texas. So you'll find Oktoberfest festivities everywhere. So anyway, you'll enjoy the festivals and be prepared because people invite you and you'll have a blast. It's so much fun. Okay, I think that covers it. I'm sure I probably missed something, so if you have any tips for me, let me know. I'd love to hear them. And if you're considering moving here, give me a call and I will help you find the right place and we'll survive this together. Bye.